Companions of Prophet Muhammad Volume 5 Book 57 Number 1, narrated by Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. Allah's apostle said, "A time will come upon the people when a group of people will wage a holy war and it will be said, 'Is there amongst you anyone who has accompanied Allah's apostle?' They will say, 'Yes.' And so victory will be bestowed on them. Then a time will come upon the people when a group of people will wage a holy war, and it will be said, 'Is there amongst you a none who has accompanied the companions of Allah's apostle?' They will say, 'Yes,' and so victory will be bestowed on them. Then a time will come upon the people when a group of people will wage a holy war, and it will be said, 'Is there amongst you anyone who has been in the company of the companions of Allah's apostle?' They will say, 'Yes,' and victory will be bestowed on them." Volume 5, Book 57, Number 2, narrated by Imran bin Hussein. Allah's apostle said, "The best of my followers are those living in my generation, that is my contemporaries, and then those who will follow the latter." Imran added, "I do not remember whether he mentioned 2 or 3 generations after his generation." Then the Prophet added, "There will come after you people who will bear witness without being asked to do so, and will be treacherous and untrustworthy, and they will vow and never fulfill their vows, and fatness will appear among them." Volume 5, Book 57, Number 3, narrated by Abdullah. The Prophet said, "The best people are those living in my generation, and then those who will follow them, and then those who will follow the latter. Then there will come some people who will bear witness before taking oaths, and take oaths before bearing witness." Ibrahim, a sub-narrator, said, "They used to beat us for witnesses and covenants when we were still children." Volume 5, Book 57, Number 4, narrated by Al-Bara Abu Bakr bought a camel saddle from Azib for 13 dirhams. Abu Bakr said to Azib, "Tell Al-Bara to carry the saddle for me." Azib said, "No, unless you relate to me what happened to you and Allah's apostle when you left Mecca while the pagans were in search of you." Abu Bakr said, "We left Mecca and we led continuously for that night and the following day till it was midday. I looked around searching for shade to take as shelter, and suddenly I came across a rock and found a little shade there. So I cleaned the place and spread a bed for the Prophet in the shade and said to him, 'Lie down, O Allah's apostle.' So the Prophet lay down and I went out looking around to see if there was any person pursuing us. Suddenly I saw a shepherd driving his sheep towards the rock, seeking what we had already sought from it. I asked him, 'To whom do you belong, O boy?' He said, 'I belong to a man from Quraysh.' He named the man and I recognized him. I asked him, 'Is there any milk with your sheep?' He said, 'Yes.' I said, 'Will you then milk some for us?' He said, 'Yes.' Then I asked him to tie the legs of one of the sheep and clean its udder, and then ordered him to clean his hands from dust. Then the shepherd cleaned his hands by striking his hands against one another. After doing so, he milked a small amount of milk. I used to keep for Allah's apostle a leather water container, the mouth of which was covered with a piece of cloth. I poured water on the milk container till its lower part was cold. Then I took the milk to the Prophet whom I found awake. I said to him, 'Drink, O Allah's apostle.' So he drank till I became pleased. Then I said, 'It is time for us to move, O Allah's apostle.' He said, 'Yes.' So we set out while the people, that is Quraysh pagans, were searching for us, but none found us except Suraika bin Malik bin Jushum who was riding his horse. I said, 'These are our pursuers who have found us, O Allah's apostle.' He said, 'Do not grieve, for Allah is with us.' Volume 5, Book 57, Number 5, narrated by Abu Bakr. I said to the Prophet while I was in the cave, 'If any of them should look under his feet, he would see us.' He said, 'O Abu Bakr, what do you think of 2 persons, the third of whom is Allah?' Volume 5, Book 57, Number 6, narrated by Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. Allah's apostle addressed the people saying, 'Allah has given option to a slave to choose this world or what is with him. The slave has chosen what is with Allah.' Abu Bakr wept, and we were astonished at his weeping caused by what the Prophet mentioned as to a slave of Allah, who had been offered a choice. We learned later on, that Allah's apostle himself was the person who was given the choice, and that Abu Bakr knew best of all of us. Allah's apostle added, 'The person who has favored me most of all both with his company and wealth is Abu Bakr. If I were to take a Khalil other than my Lord, I would have taken Abu Bakr as such. But what relates us is the Islamic brotherhood and friendliness. All the gates of the mosque should be closed except the gate of Abu Bakr.' Volume 5, Book 57, Number 7, narrated by Ibn Umar. We used to compare the people as to who was better during the lifetime of Allah's apostle. We used to regard Abu Bakr as the best, then Umar, and then Uthman. Volume 5, Book 57, Number 8, narrated by Ibn Abbas. The Prophet said, "If I were to take a Khalil, I would have taken Abu Bakr, but he is my brother and my companion in Islam." Volume 5, Book 57, Number 9, narrated by Ayub. The Prophet said, "If I were to take a Khalil, I would have taken him, that is Abu Bakr, as a Khalil, but the Islamic Brotherhood is better." Volume 5, Book 57, Number 10, narrated by Abdullah bin Abi Mulaika. The people of Kufa sent a letter to Ibn az-Zubayr asking about the inheritance of paternal grandfather. He replied that the right of the inheritance of paternal grandfather is the same as that of father if the father is dead, and added, Allah's apostle said, "If I were to take a Khalil from this nation, I would have taken him, that is Abu Bakr." Volume 5, Book 57, Number 11, narrated by Jubair bin Mutim. A woman came to the Prophet who ordered her to return to him again. She said, "What if I came and did not find you?" As if she wanted to say, "If I found you dead?" The Prophet said, "If you should not find me, go to Abu Bakr." Volume 5, Book 57, Number 12, narrated by Ammar. I saw Allah's apostle and there was none with him but 5 slaves, 2 women, and Abu Bakr. That is, those were the only converts to Islam then. Volume 5, Book 57, Number 13, narrated by Abu ad-Darda. While I was sitting with the Prophet, Abu Bakr came, lifting up one corner of H's garment uncovering H's knee. The Prophet said, "Your companion has had a quarrel." Abu Bakr greeted the Prophet and said, "O Allah's apostle, there was something, that is quarrel, between me and the son of Al-Khattab. I talked to him harshly and then regretted that, and requested him to forgive me, but he refused. This is why I have come to you." The Prophet said thrice, "O Abu Bakr, may Allah forgive you." In the meanwhile Umar regretted his refusal of Abu Bakr's excuse, and went to Abu Bakr's house and asked if Abu Bakr was there. They replied in the negative. So he came to the Prophet and greeted him, but signs of displeasure appeared on the face of the Prophet till Abu Bakr pitied Umar, so he knelt and said twice, "O Allah's apostle, by Allah, I was more unjust to him than he to me." The Prophet said, "Allah sent me, as a prophet, to you, people, but you said to me, 'You are telling a lie,' while Abu Bakr said, 'He has said the truth,' and consoled me with himself and his money." He then said twice, "Won't you then give up harming my companion?" After that, nobody harmed Abu Bakr. Volume 5, Book 57, Number 14, narrated by Amr bin al-As. The Prophet deputed me to read the army of Dada Salasil. I came to him and said, "Who is the most beloved person to you?" He said, "Aisha." I asked, "Among the men?" He said, "Her father." I said, "Who then?" He said, "Then Umar bin al-Khattab." He then named other men. Volume 5, Book 57, Number 15, narrated by Abu Huraira. I heard Allah's apostle saying, while a shepherd was amongst his sheep, a wolf attacked them, and took away one sheep. When the shepherd chased the wolf turned towards him and said, "Who will be its guard on the day of wild animals, when nobody except I will be its shepherd?" And while a man was driving a cow with a load on it, it turned towards him and spoke to him saying, "I have not been created for this purpose, but for plowing." The people said, "Glorified be Allah." The Prophet said, "But I believe in it, and so does Abu Bakr and Umar." Volume 5, Book 57, Number 16, narrated by Abu Huraira. I heard Allah's apostle saying, while I was sleeping I saw myself standing at a well, on it there was a bucket. I drew water from the well as much as Allah wished. Then Ibn Abi Quafa, that is Abu Bakr, took the bucket from me and brought out 1 or 2 buckets of water, and there was weakness in his drawing the water. May Allah forgive his weakness for him. Then the bucket turned into a very big one, and Ibn al-Khattab took it over, and I had never seen such a mighty person amongst the people as him in performing such hard work, till the people drank to their satisfaction and watered their camels that knelt down there. Volume 5, Book 57, Number 17, narrated by Abdullah bin Umar. That Allah's apostle said, Allah will not look on the day of judgment at him who drags his robe behind him out of pride. Abu Bakr said, "One side of my robe slacks down unless I get very cautious about it." Allah's apostle said, "But you do not do that with a pride." Volume 5, Book 57, Number 18, narrated by Abu Huraira. I heard Allah's apostle saying, "Anybody who spends a pair of something in Allah's cause will be called from all the gates of paradise. O Allah's slave, this is good." He who is amongst those who pray will be called from the gate of the prayer in paradise, and he who is from the people of jihad will be called from the gate of jihad, and he who is from those who give in charity, that is zakat, will be called from the gate of charity, and he who is amongst those who observe fast will be called from the gate of fasting, the gate of Rayyan. Abu Bakr said, "He who is called from all those gates will need nothing," he added. "Will anyone be called from all those gates, O Allah's Apostle?" He said, "Yes, and I hope you will be among those, O Abu Bakr." Volume 5, Book 57, number 19, narrated by Aisha, the wife of the Prophet. Allah's Apostle died while Abu Bakr was at a place called As-Sunnah, Al-Aliyah. Umar stood up and said, "By Allah, Allah's Apostle is not dead." Umar later on said, "By Allah, nothing occurred to my mind except that." He said, "Verily, Allah will resurrect him and he will cut the hands and legs of some men." Then Abu Bakr came and uncovered the face of Allah's Apostle, kissed him and said, "Let my mother and father be sacrificed for you, O Allah's Apostle. You are good in life and in death. By Allah, in whose hands my life is, Allah will never make you taste death twice." Then he went out and said, "O oath-taker, don't be hasty." When Abu Bakr spoke, Umar sat down. Abu Bakr praised and glorified Allah and said, "No doubt, whoever worshipped Muhammad, then Muhammad is dead, but whoever worshipped Allah, then Allah is alive and shall never die." Then he recited Allah's statement, "O Muhammad, verily you will die, and they also will die." 39.30. He also recited, "Muhammad is no more than an apostle, and indeed many apostles have passed away before him. If he dies or is killed, will you then turn back on your heels? And he who turns back on his heels, not the least harm will he do to Allah, and Allah will give reward to those who are grateful." 3.144. The people wept loudly, and the Ansar were assembled with Sa'd bin Ubadah in the shed of Bani Sa'idah. They said to the emigrants, "There should be one Amir from us and one from you." Then Abu Bakr, Umar bin al-Khattab and Abu Baida bin al-Jarrah went to them. Umar wanted to speak, but Abu Bakr stopped him. Umar later on used to say, "By Allah, I intended only to say something that appealed to me, and I was afraid that Abu Bakr would not speak so well." Then Abu Bakr spoke, and his speech was very eloquent. He said in his statement, "We are the rulers and you, Ansars, are the ministers," that is advisors. Hubab bin al-Mundir said, "No, by Allah we won't accept this, but there must be a ruler from us and a ruler from you." Abu Bakr said, "No, we will be the rulers and you will be the ministers, for they, that is Quraysh, are the best family amongst the Arabs, and of best origin. So you should elect either Umar or Abu Ubaidah bin al-Jarrah as your ruler." Umar said to Abu Bakr, "No, but we elect you, for you are our chief and the best amongst us and the most beloved of all of us to Allah's Apostle." So Umar took Abu Bakr's hand and gave the pledge of allegiance, and the people too gave the pledge of allegiance to Abu Bakr. Someone said, "You have killed Sa'd bin Ubadah." Umar said, "Allah has killed him." Aisha said, in another narration, "When the Prophet was on his deathbed, he looked up and said thrice amongst the highest companion." See Quran 4.69. Aisha said, "Allah benefited the people by their two speeches. Umar frightened the people, some of whom were hypocrites whom Allah caused to abandon Islam because of Umar's speech. Then Abu Bakr led the people to true guidance and acquainted them with the right path they were to follow, so that they went out reciting, 'Muhammad is no more than an apostle, and indeed many apostles have passed away before him.'" 3.144, Volume 5, Book 57, number 20, 3.144, narrated by Muhammad bin al-Hanafiyyah. I asked my father, Ali bin Abi Talib, "Who are the best people after Allah's Apostle?" He said, "Abu Bakr." I asked, "Who then?" He said, "Then Umar." I was afraid he would say Uthman, so I said, "Then you?" He said, "I am only an ordinary person." Volume 5, Book 57, number 21, narrated by Aisha. We went out with Allah's Apostle on one of his journeys till we reached Al-Baida or Datul Jaish, where my necklace got broken and lost. Allah's Apostle stopped to search for it, and the people too stopped with him. There was no water at that place, and they had no water with them. So they went to Abu Bakr and said, "Don't you see what Aisha has done? She has made Allah's Apostle and the people stop where there is no water, and they have no water with them." Abu Bakr came while Allah's Apostle was sleeping with his head on my thigh and said, "You detained Allah's Apostle and the people where there is no water, and they have no water." He then admonished me and said what Allah wished and pinched me at my flanks with his hands, but I did not move because the head of Allah's Apostle was on my thigh.